Hello to all my replay viewers. I'm going to give it a few seconds while we wait for anybody to come on live. But hi, my name is John Denley. I am the Mindset Magician. At least that's my current title. My company is Find Your Fire. I'm going to repeat this in a minute if anybody comes on live, of course. And today I'm going to talk about how the Rubik's Cube can help you recover from anxiety and depression. Actually, not that Rubik's Cube, I just realised. This Rubik's Cube can help you recover from anxiety and depression. This is my personalised cube. It's called my Find Your Fire cube. And on here we have 15 pillars, life lessons, as my friend Philip Cooper will call them, on how you can improve your mental and your mindset generally. Obviously particularly useful in these particular difficult times that we're in at the moment. I'm hoping that somebody will come on in a minute and tell me that this is live in the group, but who knows? Okay, so I'm going to take you through. I've got 20 minutes and I realise I'm already at 4:35, so maybe over a little bit. I'm going to certainly try and finish before 5 o'clock at the very latest. But what I want to go through is my sort of standard opening gambit, which is when we look at a Rubik's Cube, it's all nice and neat and tidy and perfect. Just like as a child, we expect our lives to be when we grow up. We've got the perfect 2.5 children or whatever, 2.4 children, kind of 2.3, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, children, the perfect career, nice house and all that kind of stuff. Didn't quite work out for me. Probably hasn't quite worked out for you either. So that's how our lives are kind of perfect, expected when we're children. But then we get all these kind of rules about life and how they work from our parents, from our teachers, from our friends, and from the environment we live in. Everybody has different environments that they live in. And there can be things like money is the root of all evil, for example. And then we have things like eat all the food on your plate and don't talk to strangers. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but there's all these rules, and over time you recognise that all these rules come in, and then we have experiences in our lives as well. Things happen to us, we have bad experiences, we have good experiences, and eventually over time we kind of find our lives a little bit more jumbled up and mixed up, just like this Rubik's Cube is. And if you knew, and what a lot of us will try and do is we'll try and fix things, we'll try and sort things out, try and fix our life back together again, and we'll look at the cube and we'll go, oh, maybe I'll put that there and maybe that there, but that's no good, because actually now I've got less bread pieces on the top here than I did before, so that's not worked at all. And we kind of get into this stuck position where we go, I don't know what to do now, because I've made things worse now by mixing things around, so now I don't want to make any more changes. And that's where we get anxiety from. So if you ever got anxiety about standing up in front of a room full of people, that's kind of where it's come from. There'll be stuff that's happened in the past that's made you scared of, hey, live viewer, hello. The stuff that's been happening in the past that's made you scared of or anxious about standing up on stage and talking in front of people. A lot of people struggle with networking meetings, for example, and that's where the sort of don't talk to strangers thing, kind of that default behaviour inside our brains can come from. So that's how we can get anxiety. We get anxious about things that might happen in the future from the things that have happened in our lives. But then we can also look back at our past, and we can look back and go, I wish life hadn't got all mixed up like this. I wish I hadn't made some of those mistakes in the past. And that can be where depression comes from. That's where quite a lot of the time for most people, we learn to look back and we can get depressed about all the stuff that's gone wrong and how our lives haven't quite gone the way we want them to be. Times like this, maybe I wish I'd got more food in before the lockdown, or more toilet rolls and that kind of stuff. It kind of happened. So it can be really, we can get really stuck in this kind of middle position where we can't really do anything about it. And then we can go to somebody like an NLP therapist or an EFT or hypnotherapist and so forth, or a therapist, even just a regular therapist, counselling and so forth. And we can talk to them about our lives and what's gone on in the past, and they can kind of help us unscramble the cube a little bit, and look back at our past and see where things have gone and where they went wrong. And if you know how the cube works, I've just completely screwed this up, haven't I? Well, actually this kind of proves my point. Let me just grab another cube so I can show you the magic trick version of that, and then we'll come back to the cube that I've completely screwed up right here. Yeah, so in fact I'll use this cube here. So the right way of doing that was we have all these rules, and our lives get kind of messed up and mixed up over time, and we get to this position where it's all messed up like this. And then we can get somebody who can help us to unscramble all that stuff and unscramble our minds, and we can start to put it all back together again, and eventually we can get ourselves back to a point where we put it all back together again and it's all neat and tidy. That's the magic trick version of that. But it sometimes can only be a temporary fix, because there's one specific problem that we're trying to fix, and then we've gone to a therapist, we've gone to an NLP practitioner, and they fix that one thing, that one phobia, that one fear that we've got, and we'll fix that one thing. However, what I believe in is that if we can understand how our brains work, and we can understand how to retrain our own brains, and if we can actually understand how the neurons inside our brains get the way they are, then we can actually reprogram our own brains, and we don't need to go to another therapist in the future. And that's kind of where my philosophy comes from, completely, and that's what I help people to do, to understand how their own brains work so that they can help themselves to retrain themselves in the future. Saw a great talk once from a guy called Tony Robbins. Some of you may know him. He's quite well known in the therapy worlds and coaching worlds, and he talked about how we all have this sort of average level of happiness, and we have good days and we have bad days, and then we have good days and then we have bad days, good days and bad days, and we have this kind of emotional roller coaster of a life. We all do, and if we didn't, it would be a bit of a problem, because we'd have a flat line, and we all know what a flat line means. Particularly these days, we know what flat line means. Not good, not a good situation to find yourselves in at all. So emotional roller coasters is a really good place to be. And actually, I was talking to somebody the other day about how we sometimes have our lives and we think, okay, this is all happy stuff and this is all the bad stuff over here, and we think, I don't want to feel the bad stuff, so we shut off our bad emotions, and then that gives us this sort of emotional range like this. But of course, we still have these bad feelings. They come back and they creep back in again. So then we have this sort of bad feelings over here, and then we try and shut those off, and eventually it gets to the point where our emotional range, happy and sad, are really, really close together. And that's what I was saying before about that. We've got that sort of flat line. We're not really enjoying life. It's not a very good place to be in. And so what we need to do is we need to learn how to enjoy these ups and downs, but stop the downs from going too far down, which is where depression comes in. I always talk about how it's a bit like a ski slope. And if you're not careful, you can slide down this ski slope. And if you don't know how to get back up the ski slope, you don't know how to use the button lifts or the chair lifts, or you haven't got some skis that you can go uphill with, there are such things, then you get stuck down the bottom, and it can be difficult to really get back to the top of the hill. And quite a lot of the time, what will happen is a doctor will throw a rope down, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, and will pull you back up to the top of the slope. And of course, you get to the top of the slope and you think, well, I don't want to slip down and get stuck down there again, so I'm going to tie this rope around me, tie it around a nearby tree, and I'm going to get stuck. I'm going to stay here. Because again, you're in the same situation. You're in a flatlining scenario. You're not really enjoying all the joys that you get on a ski slope, because you've got other people. You can see them over there. They're going up and down. They're having a great way all the time. Having a great time over there. You want to go and join them. You want to be able to have your own fun. And so what Tony said in when he talked about this, he was talking about, wouldn't it be great if your current bad day, if you could raise your average level of happiness up, so that what used to be a bad day is now better than what's currently a good day. Wouldn't that be really cool? Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I try and help people to do. And the way I try and help people to do that is with the Rubik's Cube, you see. On this Rubik's Cube, the customized version I have here, it has what I call 15 pillars, as my friend Philip calls them, the 15 life lessons. And they're all just little things that we can do on a daily basis to raise our average level of happiness. So you've all heard this stuff. It's one of the reasons we go out for an hour-long walk every day. Or we should, not an hour-long walk, but go outside for a day. Getting out into nature is one of the things. Getting some exercise, moving, that's one of the good things there. Eating good food. Sometimes a little bit tricky with shopping requirements at the moment, but that's okay. Understanding that little voice inside your heads. Understanding how important your breathing is, especially if you're struggling with anxiety. If you struggle with anxiety, one of the best things you can do is learn how to breathe better. I've got a whole thing about this. Oh, by the way, if you need anything more from me, just comment below, and I'll send you through some stuff, because obviously you can want to buy one of these cubes potentially. You might want to buy the course on how to solve the Rubik's Cube, which is what I'm going to show you in a minute. I also have some this breathing technique in a video that you can look at. I have some habit tracking stuff. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm putting into a big course eventually, and obviously will make available. In fact, I've got the course building software right behind the screen here, which I'm just doing right now. I'm actually working on the how to solve the Rubik's Cube thing at the moment, which I have one already online, but I want to revamp it and make it all better and tidy it up and have a little free version. Anyway, so here, understanding how to quiet our minds, what are we learning, what are we feeding our brains with, what are our daily habits that we're going into, who are we hanging around with, friends, what are we doing to make ourselves feel good every day. I saw something on TV this morning saying, do something every day that makes you smile. Absolutely brilliant. Listen to some good music. One of my neighbours is going to be putting on a little sort of festival on tomorrow afternoon, actually. He's asked for music that you like, and he's going to sit on his balcony and play the music for the whole area that we're in, which is cool. Shielding yourself from negativity. Don't watch the news every single day. You don't need to watch the news all day, every day. You can just watch it once. Maybe watch the news. We've got the 5 PM daily update coming. It's a bit boring, to be honest, but yeah, just watch the news once a day. Find out what the headlines are, and that's it. That's all you need, really. Try not to watch depressing programs. One of my classic ones is avoiding watching things like EastEnders and Coronation Street and that type of stuff. And of course, they're not recording many more versions of those at the moment, so that's going to be a little bit tricky. TV has changed a lot, hasn't it, in these times? Getting your money under control. This is a big one for me at the moment. Trying to make sure that we've got more money coming in than we've got going out. I think that was everything on here. Oh, I talked about breath. I was going to do the breathing exercise. I'll do that in a second and come back to that. And then the last one is a gratitude exercise. I've got a really cool sheet that does a really good gratitude exercise that can help you to retrain your brain on a daily basis to look for happiness in your life rather than sadness. So obviously, if you're struggling with depression, it's particularly good to be able to focus on the good things. We as human beings have a tendency to look for the negative in everything all the time. It's how we're wired. It keeps us safe. It kept us safe back in the old days, in the caveman days, from big threats like tigers and lions and that kind of stuff. But these days, the threats are much more, well, not life-threatening. So we need to be a little bit more careful about that stuff. I can't believe I've got nobody on watching me. This is kind of frustrating, but never mind. Okay, so yes, it was keeping us safe. So that's why we're wired to look for negativity. But we do have to be really careful about only looking for negativity and not looking for the good things in our lives. I was watching a YouTube video the other day from a lady who has a really good YouTube channel. Thoroughly recommend it. It's called Therapy in a Nutshell. Yeah, really good lady. She's got some cool tips. Kind of a bit of a bad thing for me to push people away to somebody else's content, but to be honest, I think there's probably a future collaboration potential there. Plus, I'm going to put some of her videos into my course as well because I think they're really, really useful stuff. Anyway, hello, live viewer, whoever you are, please say hello and give me some hearts or something. That'd be great because you're the only person who's watching me. Well, there was somebody on earlier, but they didn't stop either. So this breathing exercise for people who are struggling with anxiety. If you're struggling with anxiety, typically what will happen is you'll tend to not breathe enough. Most of us don't breathe enough, deep enough, and get enough oxygen into our lungs. Again, very pertinent at the moment. You've probably seen it all over the news about how you need to, the problem with COVID-19 is that it fills your lungs up with fluid and stops you being able to take enough oxygen into your lungs, which is why you need the ventilators. That's why the ventilators are so important right now. But even in normal life, we tend to breathe quite shallow as human beings, and it's really useful to us to learn how to breathe more deeply. I've got a really cool analogy for this. Again, it makes no sense in the current circumstances, but you'll understand this from before. If you've ever been to a train station or the Underground in London, and you've been waiting for a train, and it pulls in, and it's completely packed. There's like thousands of people. There's like no way you can get onto this train whatsoever. But if you stand back, and there'll be quite a few people coming off the train quite a lot of the time. So, but you have to stand there and wait for the people to come off the train before you can get onto the train, right? And there's the same sort of things happening in your lungs. Again, you would have seen this on the news just recently. As you take a deep breath in, the oxygen goes down into your lungs, and those little alveoli, I think they're called. Brush up on my biology. Fill up with the air from outside, and what happens is the carbon dioxide that's in your blood comes out of your blood, and the oxygen. So the oxygen has gone into your things, and it's sitting there waiting on the platform, just like you were on the tube station there. But you've got to stand back as an oxygen molecule and let the carbon dioxide out of the blood first before the oxygen can go into the blood. And then you can take that oxygen, then takes takes the blood then takes that oxygen up into your brain and allows you to clearly think. So obviously, if you're struggling with anxiety and you're not breathing deep enough, then you're not getting enough oxygen into your brain, which is not allowing you to think clearly enough. And you'll find when you're having a panic attack, you'll find yourself really shallow breathe. And you know that's not breathing properly. But and so one of the first and easiest things to overcome anxiety or a panic attack, you know, you've heard the analogy of breathing into a paper bag. It's kind of the same thing. It's about focusing on your breath and taking deep breaths. So, but I find the easiest thing to do is take a nice deep breath and hold it for like 3 seconds. So you just go literally 1, 2, 3, and breathe out. And you're allowing that oxygen to get into your lungs, circulate into the blood, get the oxygen up into your brain, allowing you to think more clearly. So you could do that. There's a slightly more advanced version of that, which I think some people call square breathing. Oh my lord. I have a timer on my phone that allows me to only do half an hour of Facebook every hour, and it's just come up, said you've got 9 minutes left. So I've got 9 minutes left. That's okay. That should be fine. So yeah, so that breath is to count to 5, breathe in for 6, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. Wait for 5, breathe in for 6, hold for 7, breathe out for 8, and that's the square thing. Some people do it different ways, but that's the way I do it. I like it particularly because and actually you'll find yourself feeling a little bit high when you do that. You have to hold on to something if you're standing up, because you can get a little bit dizzy when that oxygen rush gets into your brain. Anyway, so just going to finish off now with the cube, because obviously you can use this cube to help you improve your life. On the new version, while we're on here, I've had a new version of the base. So the bottom of this one doesn't really work because there's some that look too white and some that look too yellow and some look too red. So we've had it redesigned, so it's much more orange now. You can see orange thing. But we've also added in sleep. Even though I'd say that sleep is not really something, it's not like a specific thing, because all of the other things on the cube. Hey Philip, welcome to the cube. You're going to have to watch it from the replay from the beginning. Sleep is actually one of those things that becomes easy once you've sorted out all the other things on the cube. So if you're struggling to sleep, I recommend meditation, exercise, getting out into nature. What are you feeding your brain with before you go to sleep? All these kinds of things. Learning how to breathe. They're all combinations that will help you to sleep better. But they're all part of the 15 pillars, or life lessons, as Philip would say. But what I wanted to finish on was something that Kay was talking about, because obviously it is the cube, and I do teach people how to do the cube, so I'm going to mess up the cube. What I'm going to talk about was, remember right back at the beginning of this session, I was talking about how, in fact it was the other one, wasn't it? This one here. And I did the big one and I messed it up. I didn't actually correctly fix it and I made it make things worse. In fact, yeah. Should I do this one? Should I solve this one? Should I solve the big one? I'll solve the big one. I'll solve the big one. So what you do when you're solving the cube is you actually have to understand how the cube works. And so as my friend Philip, who I have taught how to do the cube, will attest. Feel free to comment, Philip, on how the cube has helped your life. You need to breathe through the nose. Okay, yeah. You can come on to that. Okay, so when you're solving the cube, you start off by putting the cross on the top here. Now there's an interim step where you make a little daisy. In fact, I'll do the daisy. Because talking about nature. There you go. Ignore the yellow one there. You've got a little daisy with a yellow bit in the middle and the white petals around the outside. And then you flip them all down to the bottom, and then that makes the white cross. We're making a white cross. Make it a white cross. And then what we need to do is put the corners in place. And the way you do that is you look for a little white. Again, this is only a partial course because I have a full course online. If you want that, comment below. Let me know. So this one here, white. And there's green on the bottom there, so we need to find the green side. There it is, there's the green side. So this now white piece needs to go up into this little corner here, okay? And the way we do that is we move it out the way, bring this one piece down, reconnect those two and put it up to the top. Now you can see that corner is in the right place. And then we keep doing that. But I'm doing it backwards for you, of course, here. So this one here, got to find the red side. Well, that is the red side, so we're all right there. So move that piece out the way, bring this side down, bring that piece back across, put it up, and now you can see that piece is in the right place. Here's another one. This one here. This one is orange, so it needs to go to the orange side. There's the orange side, orange side. The orange side is the center square is the color of the side that you want to put into. This one here, orange side, needs to go up into this slot here. So what we do is move it out of the way, bring these two down, reconnect them, and put those three back up to the top. Yep, and that's the top layer done with all the colors correct around the outside. Yay! Now I've got to go on to the second layer down here. Now, what Philip discovered when he was doing this is that actually just the act of learning how to do the cube has really helped his mental health as well. So this piece here needs to go up to this slot here. So what we do is we move it out the way, bring this corner down, bring that piece back across, this one over here, and then rotate these two pieces back up to the top. But this piece then connects up here. This white piece connects up here, and then you're inserting this white corner up into that corner just like you did before. So you move it out of the way, bring these top two down, bring this back around, and put it back up again. So yeah, so what Phil found was that as he was, and I'm going to carry on doing this while we're talking, so it's the same piece. This piece needs to go up here now, so we move it out of the way, bring these three down, rotate it back across, put those two back up to the top, and now we've got to insert this corner into that hole again. Move it out because it's reconnected. It's connected to these two here. Put that down, put it back, and put it back up again. So that's, yeah. So what Phil found was that it really helped him to calm down, to learn new ways of doing things, to chill out a bit more, learn new ways of doing things so that he can think more clearly under pressure. One of the great things, anecdotes he gave me the other day was that when we changed the clocks just recently, normally it's really frustrating to try and change the clock on your cooker, but Philip found that he was a little bit calmer, went and looked up how to do it on the internet, and managed to sort the clock out on the cooker. And he said that it was the process of learning how to do the cube and having patience and being willing to learn new things that actually helped him to achieve that. So we've done the second layer on the cube here, and now we've got to do the bottom layer here. So what we want is a cross, same as we did the white cross on the top. We've now got to do a cross on the yellow bottom, on the yellow side now. And you can see that there's a little sort of corner thing here. And so what we do, there we go. This is a hard one to do backwards. I've got to work out. Okay, so got to bring this corner down, put it out the way, back up, put this one up here, and then this corner needs to go up into that slot there. So go up to the slot, bring those three over, bring those two back with it, and then put those three back across, and that makes a line along the bottom. So then we do the same move again, bring that corner out, and then put it back up in a different way, back up to the top. There we go. We take those three white ones out of the way, bring these two back from the back, put those three back up to the top, and then that will have created the cross on the bottom. Remembering, I'm doing this from your perspective, not from my perspective. Then we've got to line up the colours. Yeah, so we've got the red and the green one are lined up. So we've got to swap the orange and the blue one here. And the way we do that is bring this side down. I think I've done it back to front, but it doesn't matter. Same process. Oops, nope, I have to screw that completely, haven't I? See now, Phil, you know how I said you screwed it up last time? Okay, so this one needs to go up, and then rotate around again. Bring those two down, reconnect it up like that, put it up to the top, and then line those up. Okay, so we now got swap those two round. Yep. And now we just got the last four corners to do here. Yeah, so we've got to move this one here. It's got to slide across to here. Just going to do that because it's too hard to do this one backwards. But I'll show you the move in a minute. Okay, so that one's done. And now we need to do, yeah, so we need to move this one across to here. So the move, so you can see that it's similar to everything else we've done. Yeah, is to bring this side down. Now we normally bring that one across, but actually you want to bring this side down as well. Move those two out of the way. Put these two to the top. Bring these two white ones back across, which reconnects those three. Put those three back up to the top, and then put that piece back up to there again. Move it out of the way. Bring that down. Reconnect it. Put it up to the top. And now we've got these two. We've just got these last two corners to do here. And this is the one I haven't. Phil's seen this before, but so it's just two moves away now. So just do that same move I just did before, and I'm going to do it on the. sorry about that gap. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Yeah, I have a little app on my phone that stops me from using Facebook for more than half an hour inside a 1 hour period. And I just hit that just before 16:59. And it's now 5 o'clock. So, but I'm going to wrap up now anyway. So I just got these last 2 corners to do. So I'm just doing it on the red side. Actually, no, I'm going to do it on the orange side, and then rotate it to the blue side, and then do it again on the blue side, but the opposite way around. So I just step back a little bit so you can see kind of what I'm doing here. And then I'll do the last one from your perspective. There you go. So on the blue side, so I'll bring this side down and this side down. Rotate it to the right, put those 2 up, bring this one back across, put those 3 to the top, and then insert that corner up to there, and we will have finished the cube. Yeah! Big round of applause from all my massive... Oh! Just goes to show, doesn't it? I did that wrong, obviously. Wonder how I managed to do that wrong. Let's try again. Bring this side down, bring this side down, rotate it across, put those 2 back up, rotate those 3 together, put it up, and then this one last corner in, and hopefully this time we have done it. Yay! Big round of applause from my massive audience, all of 1 of you. Hopefully the replay people are going to watch this though and enjoy it as much as the live viewers. I'm going to read Philip's comment now. It's a life changer. Before I had no patience and aggro with things that didn't go right. Yep, absolutely. Now I'm more of a calm approach to the problems, accepting one has to sometimes mess up and start again. Yeah, well, exactly. In fact, that was a beautiful example. Now, you won't have seen this, Philip, but those people who are watching right from the beginning, I tried to do a little sort of magic trick on this cube. In fact, I'll show you now. So the trick is to mess it up in a specific way, and of course that's all very well, but you need to unmess it in exactly the same way as you messed it up in the first place. And I made a mistake and I turned something wrong, but obviously now it's all messed up. But I can put it all back together again by just rotating and reversing the moves that I did in the first place. And earlier on, I did that wrong and I completely screwed it up. And so because I screwed it up, I had to solve it properly by understanding how the actual cube works and how you do all the little bits and pieces that need to be done to put it all back together again, which is exactly what I did just then. And just for fun, just do it fast. I'll do it with a regular Rubik's cube. It's an actual Rubik's cube. That's not blurry. Anyway, it's an actual Rubik's cube. Just so you can see what it's like when it's done quickly. I need to make sure you can see it though, can't I? There you go. So, and it's the same process though, because you do the cross on the top, and then you've got to do the 4 corners. And hopefully you can see that those are being done. Last one there. There's the top one done. Then you're going to do the second layer, and then we're going to finish. I was hoping there'd be questions at the end here, but there's nobody asking questions, so I'm going to keep going a little bit. Second layer coming up now. There you go. Second layer's done. Bottom cross. I have a slight cheat for this. Bottom cross is done. Not really a cheat. It's a shortcut, I guess. Still got to rotate those 2 around though. So stop those over. There you go. And then put that last corner in place. Oh, look at that. Finish the cube completely. Yeah. So when done fast, when you know exactly how the cube works, it's really easy to put it all back together again, and how to retrain your brain if you want to retrain your brain. Company is Find Your Fire. My name is John V. Denley, and I am the Mindset Magician. I hope you've enjoyed that little half-hour entertainment, even though there's nobody watching. Hopefully you've watched it in replay. Let me know what you think, and if you want a cube, let me know. If you want to know how to solve the cube, let me know. If you want my breathing techniques, let me know. If you want my gratitude exercise, let me know. And if you want access to my How to Overcome Depression and Anxiety 6-week program, let me know. There will be various price ranges depending on whether you want to do it on your own, whether you want to do it in a group setting, or you want to do it one-on-one with me. Let me know. Thanks very much indeed. It's John Denley, the Mindset Magician. Thank you for the heart, whoever that was. I'm off now. Bye. Have a great Easter weekend, and stay safe, stay home. Bye for now.